My name is Sandy Fischl, and I'm using the Smart Recorder and Video Player to create the video for the application to the Smart Exemplary Educator program. I've been teaching mathematics for 29 years, and I've been using the Smartboard for 6 years. My belief in this technology for engaging students is forever. The Smartboard has totally changed the way I teach mathematics and the way students learn mathematics. I would like to share with you my Smart story. In February of 2006, the first Smartboard was placed in my secondary math classroom, primarily to help engage the grade 9 boys. After 1 year, the school math scores on a provincial test increased 28%. The Smartboard is used exclusively in my classroom, along with Notebook Math, the document camera, and the Smart Response. Since the board was placed in my classroom, I've been delivering workshops to our Provincial Federation members, to the Ontario Association of Mathematics Educators, to administrators within the board, to individual schools, and to teacher candidates in 3 universities in Ontario: Trent, Waterloo, and Queen's. The workshops demonstrate how to use the Smartboard effectively, how to create an engaging lesson, how to use the lesson activity toolkit, and how to bring art into your math classroom. I have also attended many workshops presented by Smart Exemplary educators, as well as completing a Miss Blossom course. In 2008, my room became a demonstration classroom. Elementary and secondary teachers, along with administrators from across the province, have visited my classroom to see how I use the Smartboard to engage my students. In November 2008, I won the North American Smart Teacher Content Challenge for secondary teachers. In January 2009, I traveled to London, England to share my winning lesson at the BET conference in the Smart booth and the Learning Elsewhere booth. In June 2009, I was a top 10 finalist in the Lessons That Count Smart Technologies video contest. In July 2009, my school became a Smart Showcase school. We are very proud of this, and we currently house 16 Smartboards, document cameras, and Smart Response clickers to engage our students. In May 2010, I was recognized by the Ontario Ministry of Education as a leader in engaging grade 9 applied students using the Smartboard and a ministry program called TIPS. By June 2010, our school scores on the provincial test increased by 34%. Currently, I am considered a leader in Smartboard technology within my board. When I create a lesson, I use a 3-part approach. For Minds On, I like the fact that I could use the internet with seamless integration. I can link to a math starter of the day, spend a few minutes at the beginning of each class, using activities that are already created. If I wanted a more specific Minds On, I could use the lesson activity toolkit and the crossword puzzle. The students would come up to the board, select a word, look at the clue, and answer. And this would continue until all the words were completed. For the action part of my lesson, I wish to demonstrate a couple of lessons. The first was a lesson created from Lesson Study, solving equations using manipulatives. The equation is x plus 2 equals 1. The students would have the manipulatives at their desks, and a pair of students would be at the board demonstrating. So they would bring the bowl over to represent the variable x, 2 yellow hexalink cubes to represent the plus 2, and 1 yellow hexalink cube to represent the plus 1. They already know the zero principle, so they would bring in 2 blue hexalink cubes to the left side to isolate the variable, and 2 blue hexalink cubes to the right side to balance the equation. At the same time, they can mirror their solution algebraically, 2 negatives on each side. They know that this becomes 0, so they can drag it off to the trash can. And this becomes 0, and off it goes to the trash can, and they can clearly see that x equals -1. Another action lesson uses a learning object. It is interactive, provides lots of examples and explanations for the students. Once the learning object was complete, I would return to my lesson and use the note reveal from the lesson activity toolkit to summarize the concepts from the learning object. The third step of my lesson is consolidation, and one example of this is this jigsaw puzzle. A pair of students would be at the board, and they would be moving the pieces of the puzzle around in order to solve the given problem. Another consolidation is koosbal. The students would throw the koosbal at the board, and then they would be required to answer one of the questions on the board. The rest of the students would solve the problem at their desks and be ready to challenge. The student at the board would have to defend. When the class is satisfied, the next student would throw the koosbal, etc. At the end of a lesson, I use the SMART response to check for understanding. It has been a challenge to demonstrate what I do in my classroom in 5 minutes. My main goal is to get the students involved and participating in their own learning, and the Smartboard helps to make this happen. Thank you for considering me for the position of Smart Exemplary Educator. Even after 6 years, I feel like it is only the beginning.